podcast is brought to you by Society Art Villeray. This exclusive gallery features local and international artists showcasing their extraordinary artistic talents. This fine gallery may also serve as a venue for your special events. You can find them on Instagram and online at societyart.ca. Thank you, Society Art Villeray. And now we return you to your podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Let's Talk It Out. I say they're wonderful because we have so many amazing guests, amazing people, amazing friends. And today I'm very excited once again because we had you on before, but now, there's a lot that has been accomplished by you guys since then. So we're going to talk about that. A lot of happy and exciting things. Hi, Steph. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. You, Lisa?
Good. You're still figuring things out over there?
I'm working. I'm hard at work
it's
here.
About time. So,
Jesus, look at...
It's all good.
The staff always gets thrown on the side, right?
So with that being said, before we begin our podcast and before I do the introductions, I would like to thank our sponsors, because without our sponsors, as I usually say, we'd be mortified, we'd be sad, but since you're here, we're not mortified and sad. We're actually very, very happy because you support us, you encourage us, and we so appreciate it. And our first sponsor, he sponsored us before, Birra Fanelli.
I love him.
Thank you so much, Frank Fanelli, for your sponsorship. It is very kind of you. And his beer is not, well, it is sold in stores, but it's in restaurants as well, but you can get them at dépanneurs, you can get them in stores. And I love the can. Okay, the can is something extraordinary. It's very colorful, and you really want to drink it because you want to know how it tastes.
The reason we don't have a can here tonight is because I drank it already.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. I told you to wait till after the podcast.
I couldn't. It's so good.
And
they even have like a pumpkin flavored beer.
Do.
It's so awesome. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, they do. They have, oh my God, it's just extraordinary.
Lemon, pumpkin, they have all kinds of different...
The red one is very good.
The red ones too, yeah. It's all good.
It's all fantastic. So thank you so much, Birra Fanelli. And what it actually is, they actually they make their beer in Sorel Tracy in Quebec. So it's an Italian tradition that they follow their own recipe, but they're not going to give it out. They're carefully handcrafted, and their plant is located in Sorel Tracy, but they do offer it to restaurants, stores. So if you're lucky enough to pick up a case, I suggest you do it. And if you wish to reach them for whatever reason, if you want to know a little bit more about the beer, maybe if you want to order through the company themselves, you can do so. They're located at 100 Rue Plante in Sorel Tracy. 514-262-8654 is the number to reach them. Thank you so much, Birra Fanelli. Thank you so much, Frank. And on to our second sponsor. We adore this sponsor as well, Van Cropsol. Van, thank you so much for your continued support. You're amazing. So appreciated. He's from Remax Alliance, or Equipe Cropsal. He's very, very well versed when it comes to residential, commercial. If you need help, he's your go-to. He does the paperwork for you. So all you really have to do is sit back and relax and just let him take the lead. And I promise you, he will definitely take care of your needs. So you can reach him at 438-402-9471, VANC at remax-quebec.com or vancropsol.com.
Van, you the man.
Van's the man. That's our going thing here. And now we will begin a very special podcast. I've known you for a very long time, and I feel very privileged too, because I've seen how you have evolved, and you really are a strong duo. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to introduce Anita Maiezza and Joe Rossi. And you both are founders of Little Brown Dog Productions.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thanks.
How are you?
Not bad. Why don't you tell them how long we know each other?
Woo! We know that's going to give away our age.
Yeah, it would.
No, we don't do that.
It's been at least 6 months.
Exactly.
At least.
You know what it is? It's 6 months, but the bond that's formed, it's irreplaceable. I tell you, it's something strong.
Yeah.
You can guess, I was 28, so.
But you're only 32 right now.
Okay, yeah.
So we don't worry about these things. We don't know how old I was. Anyways, so that being said, so we'll just get into the nitty gritty. So I notice, and I've seen a project that you've recently released. I would love for you to tell us about that and what led to that film, and then take us through it in terms of the end result and where you are now.
You want
Loaded question.
Start or me or you?
Sure. I'll bring it up to you. Okay, so the latest project that we worked on, we shot in September of 2023. It's called Epilogue. And in a nutshell, it's basically the story of a bitter empty nester played by Teresa Picciano, who, seems to be at a standstill in her life. Nothing is really like going well for her. And, until she has a heart-to-heart discussion with her deceased sister, played by Michele Cesare. The third cast member is Bianca De Luca. It was our first time working with her, and she just blew it right out of the water. I mean, they all did, but yeah, it was really just a great experience. And, it wouldn't have happened without Joey's incredible brain. Yeah, he put it all together. He wrote the script. We workshop it together, but it's really like all on him. The inspiration and everything. It's all it's all from Joey.
Okay.
Well, yes, thank you, Anita. It was. Thank you. No, it was a collaboration on this one. I might have written the script, but without her, the movie would not get done. Okay. We really worked on it, and we really did workshop it to the point that we figured out this is the version we're going to do with the cast we had, and everything just seemed to work out on this one.
Yeah.
I got the idea when the last of my grandparents passed away.
Okay.
So the idea of legacy and like how do you remember one's relatives, and it's through, I would say it isn't through just the children, it's through stories. When you see the film, well, you've seen the film, and I'm not giving nothing away. The film will be released shortly online, but it's how one's legacy is told through stories.
Yeah.
So that's how I had this idea to write a script based on that. I mean, I remember my grandparents based on the stories my parents told me.
Yeah.
And that's how they will live on in me, and then hopefully that will pass down to my kids. They'll remember me through stories, or they'll remember their grandparents through stories. So that's why Epilogue came along. Nice.
So when you approach a script, and in collaborative script like this, how does this, I know you said that you were inspired to do this, but how did you sit down and say, well, this is exactly what I'm going to do at this very moment? Like, what led for the script to manifest itself?
I don't know, it just hit me. It wasn't anything that I have to write a story like this. I'm like, I wanted a story that, I do a lot of false starts, I'll start writing something that I think is right or I think is good, and I'll just stop. I'm like, oh, this is not going anywhere close to where I need it to be. And then Epilogue just seemed to write itself. As I started going on this idea of legacy, and I'm like, okay, I like where this is going. It went through a certain point, and then when I stopped, I'm like, I think this is what I want to do next. I showed it to her. She agreed, but again, we needed some work. And but we fixed it up together, and we also invited Michele to sit in on a Zoom call once. Nice. And we went through the script together, and we kind of shaped it with her involved too. So it really came down to a true collaboration between me and Anita and Michele, and also the other two actresses, who basically really added to it more than what I could have hoped for.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the storyline itself, because I noticed that the stories and the films that you have done in the past, there's always an element of something personal. When you write a script, or when you bring about a cast, or you have a certain feel. Is this something that's familiar to you that you will carry on, or are you able to, or will you think that eventually you'll branch out into something that's different from that? Like, what will inspire you to continue writing these types of films, or will you sort of say, I'm going to move up and check another idea, let's say, or another theme?
She has one.
Anita, the floor is yours.
She has to go on this one.
There's a project in the pipeline that I think.
Oh no! Okay.
Actually, two projects in the pipeline that kind of deviate from any sort of personal inspiration or like personal experience.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more we can divulge, but
I'll just say one of the films we already shot, and it's totally different than anything we've done before.
Really? Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
And that was a real collaboration, because we came up with that one together, and we're like, can we do that? Is that really possible? Will people actually like it? And then when we did it, and we're watching as it comes together. And we're like, yeah, this is good.
Oh, nice.
Well, to us, it's good. So
Yeah.
when it's ready next year, then we'll let the people decide if it's good or not. But we really enjoyed the process of doing the latest one too.
Nice. So in terms of this release, it hasn't been released, but it's been circulating festivals. Like,
Yes.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about that. What so far? What is the buzz?
Good response. Very good response. We just came back from Lake Placid, New York, where we had a screening there at the Lake Placid Film Festival in the Adirondacks, and it was really well received.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 And so in terms of the film itself, when you launch it, are you planning to launch it maybe beyond the film festival circuit, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think the film itself has generated enough buzz and enough curiosity out of a lot of people, and I think it would probably merit its own, private screen. Well, not private, but public screening financed by us at some point. Privately financed public screening.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, at some point in the near future. We've been talking about it. So I think it's just a matter of time before it has its own screening here in Montreal for the home crowd, and especially like all the cast and crew that worked super hard and dedicated themselves to it. I think we especially owe it to them to, give them something that we can all sit down together and watch on the big screen and really like appreciate on the level that it's meant to be appreciated on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So from this point on, when we had an interview a year ago, I believe it was a year ago, eh? We had the
Right.
interview.
Yeah.
Has it been a year? Wow.
It's been a year. More great. No. I don't know. So from then to this point now, what could you say was your biggest accomplishment thus far?
I think
Both, each of you, or to collective.
in that year, for me personally, it's Epilogue, the new film Epilogue. It's a film that I think it's one of the best things I think we've ever done. It works on every level that I thought it's beyond. It went beyond what I thought it could be.
Okay.
I thought I was making a very, very good little movie. Then I sit back and I watch it, and I find it very profound. I find the response to it very profound because people can relate to it.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching people react to it, and I enjoy. We had a screening in Montreal at a film festival, the Yes Film Festival here in Montreal. It happened in September, and again, the response was very, very good.
Yeah.
And what pleases me mostly is the response to the cast.
Yeah.
I think the cast really did a good job on this one. The cast was excellent. I have nothing bad to say about any one of the three ladies that were involved. They were each of them stellar.
And really?
Yeah.
And Anita, for you?
I think, I'm on the same page as Joey. I think Epilogue is probably our greatest achievement over the past year. I think he looks at it from a more creative stance, which is great because that's a strong point. I think I look at it more of like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is that, we've worked on like many films together, and they all start off as like great scripts, and then we execute to the best of our abilities. And, we look at our projects at the end, and there's always like, well, we could have improved here, we could have improved there, it was well received, but there's always like little bits where you look at it in hindsight and you're like, well, we could have maybe done this.
Okay.
Or whatever. And now I look at Epilogue, and the way we set out to execute it is not only met, but surpassed.
Okay.
Not to, brag about ourselves or whatever, but that's really just the case. It's exceeded our expectations. We surprised ourselves, I think, which is great in one sense. And then from another sense where I'm always looking at how can we improve on the last project.
Yeah.
Well, now we have big shoes to fill.
That's right, eh?
Yeah, but I think so far our greatest accomplishment, to answer your question, is really just the execution of Epilogue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, would you say when you're looking at one of your films that you do, because I know for myself, let's say I'll do something, I'm my harshest critic. Could you say something like that for you?
I'm my own worst critic.
Really?
I rarely go back to look at my movies.
How come?
Because I don't think I need to. I think once it's done, it's out, and it's gone through me, and it's fine. I went back recently to watch a couple of them, and I'm like, wow, how did I do that? They're the ones we did together.
Yes,
I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? That's a really cool shot, or that's a really good performance. But I rarely go back to look at my old work.
Okay.
But Epilogue is one I can actually stomach to watch again.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How about Out of Africa? I remember
Out
that
of-
one.
out of-
It's like watching paint dry.
No. I stand by that, and
That one made our bloopers. That was like
That one made our reel.
I stand by that comment.
That one made our reel. Remember that one? That
was hilarious.
good. That was good. So from this point on, you guys are currently working on something. How many films would you say that you have currently in your mindset, or how much do you project in a year's time, let's say? Are you consistently, actively working in terms of writing scripts and film? Or do you sort of do one like Epilogue and say, okay, well, this is great. Now let's take a breather. Let's absorb the moment. How do you approach once you've terminated your project to start a new one, let's say? If so.
Well, I think we constantly, every time we meet to talk about, the film we're usually working on at the moment, we always, start talking about what could be the possible next one. And we're always throwing ideas back and forth.
Yeah.
We always do that.
And what do you think is one of the most important qualities that a filmmaker should have?
Go ahead.
That's for you.
No, I got mine.
There was, I think there's a lot of qualities, but I think the one that is kind of important, it's not a skill that you acquire, it's just something that you have to deal with yourself. And it's, kind of crude, but it's something that one of my film teachers told me when I was studying back in Concordia, like all those years ago. But, the saying is you have to be ready to drown your kittens.
Yeah.
So, for anyone in the listening out there or watching, the meaning behind that is that, a kitten is a thing that like you love and you cherish and whatever. And in your project, it's really like that line or that scene in your project that you cherish. But then sometimes it just doesn't fit the bigger narrative of your movie, and you have to be prepared to just cut it out. You have to be prepared to drown that kitten if it means it's going to benefit the greater part of the movie. And again, it's not a skill that you learn, it's just something in yourself that you have to learn to deal with, and sometimes you just have to cut out the things you like. And so, I think that's
it.
I think that's like a good quality of a good filmmaker.
I think basically the art of compromise. It's compromising. You can't have everything in a movie.
Yeah.
You can't write the script saying I have to have every line the way it's written in the script, and then when you see it, I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't work. And that's when you have to start really looking at it objectively, playing. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for people to watch it.
Yeah.
So you have to compromise. I think if you compromise with yourself, I'm like, okay, this doesn't work. You got to take it out. Mm-hmm. But I think along with compromise comes trust.
Yeah.
So I think I have faith in Anita. I can trust her with telling me. I'm like, okay, Joey, that stinks. Take it out.
I can drown his kittens.
Yeah.
And his puppies.
I hate cats. It's fine. I'm allergic to cats. You can drown the cats. I can care less.
Good job.
No, but she has an ability to look at it. I'm like, okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. And she's right. I'm like, we don't need it.
So when you're approaching, let's say, a film like Epilogue, which is, very successful, I've seen it, I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
What is the one thing that made it all come together for you? Before the filming, what is that one thing that you were searching for?
I got it. Mine was the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our main goal was to have 3 women that can look. No,
I was going to say, stop right there, Joe.
No, that's not what I meant. But 3 women that look like they belong in the same family.
Yes.
So we cast Teresa first because we wrote it. We had her in mind from the beginning. I'm like, who can play her sister? Who can play her daughter?
Yeah.
And they have to be like, I'm not gonna cast someone who's like 6'3", blonde, to be, they all look like they belong in the same bloodline.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a like serendipitous when Michaela came. Well, we also wrote the part for Michaela, and they looked similar.
Yeah.
And then trying to find the daughter played by Bianca. When Bianca came in to audition, we actually didn't audition Bianca. We just saw her face. We're like, oh my God, she looks like Teresa's kid. And I'm like, and she came to meet us at a restaurant, and she walked through the door, and we're like, yeah, just open your mouth, just see, let me hear your voice. And I'm like, yeah, I think you got it. I think you got it.
So okay, so that's the mindset that you went in with, was the cast.
Because you want it right. If you're casting, if you get the wrong cast, it wouldn't work.
And it's funny that she looked the part, but she's a great actress.
She is
she takes her craft very seriously.
Very seriously.
Yeah.
Very seriously.
So at that point, so you took it from a casting standpoint. Was there anything else that you thought was a stronghold before you even cast, right? Because you have to have a powerful story before you go into it. So how many times have you redrafted to say, now it's perfect?
I can't give you a number of an actual number, but we looked at it we went over it a couple times.
Yeah, we went over it a few times, and
just to see what worked and what didn't. Yeah.
So from this point on, what do you hope to accomplish for Epilogue? Or for any other project that you have? Like, what do you hope to accomplish from this point on?
Well, Epilogue, I think, listen, it's been playing very well at film festivals. People have really enjoyed the film. It's done well, especially overseas. It did very well in Europe and Asia, festival-wise.
Yeah.
I think it's screening in Naples tonight, isn't it?
It's screening in Naples today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's
Very nice.
today was Wednesday. It actually did. I think it already screened in Naples. So any response I'll get should be in the next couple of days.
Oh my God, that's cool.
So so that was a pleasant surprise too. So I think the festival aspect of it is going to be winding down shortly after the new year because it's been playing for a while, and then it's on to the next one.
Now, in terms of the team that you have, because you guys are very close-knit in terms of a team, so and how important is it for you to get your projects to be as you want them, including your team? Do you bring them into a certain certain respect, or do you guys just solely collaborate alone and then bring them in? How do you function? Because I believe being a unit, I would imagine, is very important for an undertaking such as filmmaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about a cinematographer, Ben.
Yeah. I think in terms of team, we've gotten to a point where we know that we work really well together.
Yeah.
In the planning, in the early stages, and then in terms of having like a crew, a sound person, a cinematographer, I think we found the people that we like to work with. And although a good quality in a filmmaker is compromised, I think we can both agree we're fairly uncompromising when it comes to who we want doing our sound and who we want shooting our project.
Yeah.
And they're both people that are not only good at their technical craft, but they also understand film and aesthetic really, really well.
Yeah.
And so when we think we have something good, we'll approach them with a script and also just ask them for their own opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that also goes a long way because we learn a lot from them, and then we start talking about like aesthetic and whatever. And Joey was mentioning how like one of the great things about Epilogue was how like the cast really like pulled through and delivered at like 110%. And I could not agree more.
Yeah.
But another thing that really like pulled it all together was the aesthetic that was exactly what we were looking for, was what was delivered, coupled with the sound, which was, you go to like festivals and, it's sad to say, but sometimes like the part that is compromised on the most is like a good sound recordist.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. We have exactly what we need, and it all comes through very, very well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's the toughest part. The sound is so hard.
You can forgive almost a bad image.
Yeah.
But you can't forgive the bad sound because it will take you out of the entire thing.
Yeah, 100%. And it's so hard to get a good sound and to get it clean and to make sure that everyone in the scene gets picked up well enough to be heard properly and and the mixing it's a
That's why we've been very lucky to have Phil Barrett.
Yeah. Oh yes, you're still working with Phil.
Always,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Working with Phil, yeah.
Awesome.
I've known Phil Barrett since film school, since 2000. I've known him for 24 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
25 years next year, and he's been working on our film since 2007.
Yeah, I remember.
So I can always count on Phil. He always delivers the goods, and like she said, he's knowledgeable about sound, but he's also knowledgeable about film. He's
Yes.
a filmmaker in his own right, so
Yeah.
he knows. We always ask for the script in advance so we can see what he needs, and he asks how we're going to shoot it, how you're going to shoot it, and he also gives his opinion. And it's not just a random. Hey, I think you should do this. It's a random. It's a legitimate opinion because he knows what he's talking about. And sometimes I feel that's a good idea.
That's great.
Yeah.
So now I have a curveball. I would like for each one of you to describe each other.
Whoa.
Yeah, that gin over there. It's by your feet. I see it. Or
It's tequila.
Sorry, it's tequila.
Tequila, even better.
He's like, now I want a tequila. And the reason why I'm asking that is because Anita made a point saying that you guys work very well together. You understand each other. So what is the essence of this understanding? So you would have to, what is that one thing that you guys know about each other that's a pro? Sometimes you'll have something that's like, oh my God, today, you know. So I would like for you to describe each other.
Describe each other.
Yes. Describe Anita. Anita as your partner, as your collaborator, as your co-founder.
Well, she has my complete faith and trust with any project I can come up with.
Yeah.
I trust her with. She has of the two opinions I rely mostly. One is my wife, and one is Anita.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Anita?
And neither of us step on each other's toes.
Yeah.
Like I don't step on his wife's toes.
Yeah.
That might create a problem.
She'll like that one.
Yeah.
July, you have to watch.
Yeah. Hi, July.
You're always there, July. You're always there. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart. I adore her.
No, in fact, we were at the film, all kidding aside, we were at the festival this weekend, and July, Joe's wife was there, and Ray, my husband, was there too, and we were. I think we were like being like very humble about like our movie. People were congratulating us, and we're like, "Oh, thanks." And then our biggest cheerleaders, though, the entire night were our spouses. Yeah,
that's
like
great.
Of course.
Yeah, Ray and July were like, our movie was great, and they're like, "Guys, shut up! Your movie wasn't great.
It was fantastic.
Your movie was fantastic. It was the best one here. It blew everybody else out of the water. You don't understand. You guys like."
I could just hear them saying it too.
Yeah. But then when
they were like ganging up on us, and we're like, "Okay."
Yeah, the movie's good, I know, but but then we're eating dinner all together, and me and Anita talk about our next project, and you can hear them like, look at them, they're talking about their stupid project, and while we're here having a nice dinner, and we're just talking, the two spouses and the two filmmakers are talking about, like off to the side.
Oh my God, that's fun.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so I normally ask my guests this particular question, and the reason why I do it is because I like to understand, I would like to see how they see themselves. So the question is, who is Anita and who is Joe?
Wait, who is answering? Am I answering
You're
about?
answering about you, and Joe is answering about himself.
Okay, I didn't answer about Joe yet.
Okay, so answer about Joe.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Sorry.
No cheating. You can't take what you said.
I'm gonna say Joe first, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna say me. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think in terms of like creative drive, I also trust Joe 100%. I think the advantage that we have in working together is that, in addition to us being like creative partners, there's also like a long-standing friendship. And so I think the good thing about Joe is that not only is he creative and like independent in his creativity, like he'll just go out and like write something, but he doesn't, because of that trust, he doesn't take complete ownership of the project, and he's always open to, feedback, like so receptive, and really like one of the most like respectful, we're not coworkers, but really like, I guess in terms of like a professional partner, like it's just, he's like such a respectful partner. I guess because we're friends.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I think that is like one of the things that really like gives us a strong working dynamic together.
That's great. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
Can I ask a question? Just before you get into that whole deep one that Lisa has that makes everyone go crazy. So, because I know filmmaking has to be super meticulous. I mean, it's one of those things like, 9 out of 10, I won't say regular people, but if you're not in the film industry, you'll look at a scene and say, oh my God, that looks great. But, when it's yours, it's like, no, wait, that one hair was out, or that little, I want it done better. Is there ever a time where one thinks the other one is too meticulous? Like, okay, no, like that's being a little bit too much. Like, does it ever happen where you know what I mean? Where
I think
no one's going to notice that. Like, it's just, the wind blew that way. Don't worry,
I think we both have our moments
yes,
of
we do.
meticulousness, but
Yeah.
there's sometimes that, like I see something, I'm not the director, but sometimes and so on set, I try to like step back in that sense. But there are times where like something is happening and I just need to be the one to like step in and be like,
and that's fine.
Like
that's
whatever.
Fine.
So yeah, I think like sometimes I kind of like He doesn't think I overstep, but I feel like I'm overstepping.
No, that's
but yeah,
fine,
I have that
because-
sort of like meticulousness sometimes.
Because sometimes I'll be into something, I'll be directing a scene or looking at something through the monitor. She'll notice it, and if she doesn't notice it, 3 months later when I'm editing, I'm like, what the hell is that? And you know, I didn't notice when we were filming it because you're so focused on trying to get a performance or trying to get the lighting right. You might miss the hair in the guy's face, or you might miss the flub line, or you might missing the boom mic drop into the frame.
Yeah, there's something.
You know, there's always something you could miss. So it's nice to have another set of eyes to tell me, hey, look.
I think it's important
Yeah.
that
I think
other
it's very
side.
important.
That just stresses the fact that, you know what, one person can't do it all.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you
100%.
you're just hindering yourself. You ruin the film that way.
Yeah.
It's great to have a person like her, who, again, like I said, who has my complete faith and trust, that could tell me that's wrong or something's wrong or that
She
doesn't
also
work.
knows
Yeah.
what you like and how you would want it,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
in case there is that oversight, then
Yeah.
if no one else knows that, it's not coming out.
Well, that's what makes them a
Again,
great partner.
we're a good team that way also, again, because we surround ourselves with people who know their métier very well,
Yeah.
that even they step in and can say, Joe, that doesn't work, or that seems off. I'm like, and I'll take their opinion seriously because they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, you were always very open to that. I
Yeah.
remember you're always very open
Any
to that.
any idea,
feedback.
listen, there could be an idea that's better than my idea. I'll take that idea.
What are you talking about?
It's like my idea of having mugs with my name on it. Look what you did.
There you go. That's inspiration.
That must be
That's
it,
the
yeah.
inspiration. I remember it was a microphone. So now now it's the pressing question, because now I have the the pressing question.
Okay.
So I don't know who wants to answer this question first. We
Repeat-
gave you a little bit of time to
Yes.
absorb the
So-
question.
Repeat it again one more time.
So who is Joe Rossi and who is Anita Maiezza?
What Anita said about me before.
I knew it.
That's
No, you
exactly
can't
what
do
I
that. You can't do that. No, no.
Same. Oh my God.
You read my mind. See, that's
Yeah.
why we're great team members. Okay.
Okay, no. In the third person, Joe Rossi is very loyal, very, very driven. I think I am very driven to produce a product or produce something that is personal, of high quality, and hopefully entertaining.
Good.
That's what I strive to do.
Where did that come from, that drive? Aha!
Okay, yeah. I guess, you know what? I was an only child, and I was always allowed to play in my corner of the sandbox. I was never told I couldn't do that. And I always wanted to, I always liked telling stories. I always liked drawing comic books. I was a very, very voracious reader. I read a lot. I read a lot of comic books too. And when I got introduced to movies, I would draw my own, basically almost like storyboards, but more in a comic book style. And I would, you know, I'd be very impressed with myself. I'd be full of myself when I was young. So I'm like, oh, look what I did. Look at, and I want to show people, look at this, look at this. I always wanted to, I guess, entertain.
Yeah.
And I guess while I was a child, I wasn't as outspoken as I am now. But as I got into my teens, into my college years, and the opportunity to make something, to show people, like the access to film equipment, the access to cameras, I wanted to show people what I can do. And I was very, very happy to, always put on a show, or always show someone a piece of art.
Yeah.
And always to exhibit something, so to get a reaction from people. And I think it's always been my goal.
Okay.
I think I need to do that, or else I'll just stagnate.
Now, what are you hoping to leave, let's say, as a legacy for your sons?
I see how you're typing that. You're tying that into the film. Like my sons, I think they think their dad is boring.
Like drawing paint?
Yeah. Listen, I think they think I make movies is kind of cool, but
Yeah.
it's not the kind of movies that I guess it's a generational thing. It's not the type of movies they go rush out and see right away. I'm like, or they would want to watch. They're dramas, they're dramedies, they're comedies. And that's not their style of thing right now. One is 13, the other one is 23.
Yeah.
And, but hopefully they'll remember their dad as one day, hey, my dad made movies.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thing, because not everyone's dad makes movies.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
So hopefully they'll take that, tell that to their kids one day.
Do you think they will follow in Dad's footsteps?
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, one is an engineer and the other one is 13. So let's see.
Oh, wow.
Let's wait a while for the younger one to come into his own and see what he does.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But they're both very artistic. The younger one likes to draw a lot, likes to create stuff, likes to build. The older one does build. He went to school to be an engineer, and he actually designs. He designs structures. He designs furniture. He always had a knack for that kind of stuff.
Beautiful.
So yes, they are very creative, but not, I would say, in the same sense as I am. But who's to say that might not translate one day to what I do?
True. It's true. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Anita, you had a lot of time to think on that. She's like, how about a lot?
I got nothing. Anyway, nice to see you. I'm gonna show myself out. Yeah. No, I think like Joe, I grew up a creative kid. Always creative, always a little quirky. Really love to surround myself with the arts. I grew up listening to music. Like my entire youth had a soundtrack. I used to love watching movies. And not like kid movies or like, whatever was on TV, kid movies. But I remember, my poor mother, I traumatized her, I think. But there's this movie directed by Godfrey Reggio, could it be? Koyaanisqatsi? Who directed that?
Oh, I think that was him. Wasn't that him?
Maybe, yeah. So Koyaanisqatsi is this movie.
You showed your mother that?
I'll tell you the story. It's amazing. So Koyaanisqatsi is this movie that came out in 1987. So I was 5. There, I just gave it away. Anyway, so I was 5 years old, and the movie has no dialogue. And, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of, like, the composer Philip Glass.
Philip Glass.
Yeah, so Philip Glass's music, he's like a classical music composer, but it's very contemporary, and it's very sort of like...
Overbearing,
scales on a keyboard on loop. And so the whole movie is about how, like, humanity embraces technology so much and evolves so much to the point of like detriment and to the point of no return. And so it shows like, nature, and then how like man conquers nature, and then we make airplanes and we build skyscrapers, and then it kind of like gets out of our control, and then the whole like buildings start collapsing, and then the end it's like the space shuttle like falling from the sky and like a fiery crash and whatever. Like it's all real life footage.
Okay.
And so this movie used to just play on TV, and I used to watch it, no dialogue, like full blast with this weird music playing, and I'm just this 5-year-old kid in the living room with like my hot chocolate and my colors, and I'm just like coloring, and this movie is playing, and my mom is like walking into the room, and there's like buildings collapsing on TV, and I'm like la 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 la, with my colors. And I think she thought like, oh my God, we're in a world of trouble with this one. Anyway, it was okay. I think I turned the corner after that. But just to say, I've always kind of like been quirky in that way, like enjoyed my own creativity, and was kind of like unapologetic about the things that I liked.
Yeah.
And so, in that sense, I think I kind of maybe isolated myself a little bit from the large crowds.
Okay.
You don't have anything in common with other people. It's hard to make like that many friends, but you end up finding people that you bond with on different levels rather than just having like the same things in common. So I think that's who I am, basically a person that is a bit quirky, dances to the beat of her own drum.
Beautiful.
And, every once in a while you come across people that, you kind of like share a similar vision with.
Dance the same beat.
Yeah, it's kind of the same beat every once in a while.
But at 5 years old, I wasn't watching a movie like that. I was watching the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Muppets,
Watching that at 5? My God.
And remembering it like that, that's like, wow.
And I ended up getting this, like, by the way, I ended up getting this movie on DVD, and I showed my husband, Ray, when I got it, and he's like, what the hell? He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, what, you didn't like it? I'm like, it's so great, whatever. He's like, I don't know, man, you just traumatized me.
I know, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah.
So now that you've finished Epilogue and you're on to other endeavors, my next question for each of you is, how have you changed from the beginning to now? Is it positive? Is it negative? Whether and why?
For me, I think it's the positive. This goes back into the question that we talked about, how compromise is important.
Yes.
15 years ago, I would have made a movie like Epilogue. It would have lasted 45 minutes. It had been way too long, being very repetitive, very redundant. Now I can look at it and I could say, well, I can really cut that down to something that's more manageable, that's more entertaining, and I would think more with a better pace. Or else I think if I would stick to that, old me, I'm like, I have to have everything in there.
Okay.
It's going to be a total debacle.
So how is it that you reached that point that you were able to make these decisions or arrive
by
at this?
doing.
Okay.
So every film is a different learning experience. So you go on to the next one and see if it works better. Then you go on to the next one, see if that works better. And I just did it. I've done a film every year since 2008. So
how do you feel you've evolved?
I think I'm a better director the way I would think through the look of the film. Like she said, this film, we've surpassed the level that we thought we've hit from the last film. I mean, the cinematography is gorgeous, the crafts are fantastic, and the performances are through the roof.
Okay.
So judging on that, I think we've reached I'm not gonna say we reached the peak and then it's all downhill from there. That's not what I want to say.
Bad marketing there.
I'm just saying we hit an echelon that I think you can only surpass. So then, like I said, everyone's a learning project. So we already did our next film, which I think we set the bar a bit higher for ourselves.
Okay.
So then hopefully the one after that, we do the same.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anita?
Amazing.
Yeah, I think it's always a positive. Every movie we shoot is a learning experience. You know, it's like, I don't know how like your productions go, but I think for a lot of people, like it doesn't matter like how many productions you do, there's always like hurdles.
Yes.
And I think, you know, every hurdle, the problem is not the hurdle. The problem is if you hit the hurdle and you don't know how to deal with it, or if you don't learn from the hurdle. And so I think that the big positive that we take away is really just being able to learn from our previous experiences, recognize what the accomplishments are, recognize what needs to be improved on, and then taking it from there. And I think we've been doing that consistently, movie after movie.
Good.
And so like Joe said, like every movie is hopefully a step better than the last.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So it's a very positive outlook. On that note, we have a game.
We do have a game.
We got a game.
It's the questions, and keep in mind, Lisa wrote these questions.
Sorry, I apologize in advance.
So just as, you'll get an idea, it's called Rapid Response. I'm going to ask Lisa a question, and then after you guys will get the second one. But so Lisa, name 3 reasons someone would dress up in a costume. What a boring question for you.
Halloween?
Yeah.
To get funky?
To get what?
Funky.
What does that mean?
Figure it out. And
okay.
Oh, I know that means sex, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but what? You couldn't just say sex, like it's not.
yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
Okay,
we could just
all right.
like there's no taboo here.
Okay.
And I guess for special occasions, like you know how for Easter you see the people dress up as the bunny at the end of the road,
So like,
saying,
I'm just
"Come and
saying,
buy my eggs."
if I have Easter in my house and my aunt walks in an Easter bunny costume, I'm gonna kill you just because like, why'd you put that in my head? No.
Whatever works.
Okay. So basically, now the next question is for Joe and Anita. Name 3 reasons for drinking.
They
Wait a minute.
So 1, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
2, sex.
Yeah.
And 3, a special holiday like Easter.
3. Your aunt came with a bunny costume.
There you go. You got it. That's it.
No, but you didn't say your 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. The teamwork doesn't work that way.
Reasons for drinking?
Yeah.
Celebration,
Okay.
mourning,
Yeah.
sex.
That seems to be the popular vote.
I'm down. Or what about just for shits and giggles? How about that?
That means you got problems in your side.
Yeah, you're right. I guess put this bottle away. It's underneath. Lisa, name 3 things you say when you are happy.
Yay! Woohoo! Holy shit!
That was okay. Good.
Good thing you tested the mic.
Yeah, and I didn't test it well enough, I can tell you. Okay, Joe and Anita, tell us 3 things that you keep hidden.
Ooh.
Well, 1 we can answer your next project, right?
You gave it away.
Well,
3 things I keep hidden.
yeah. Why don't you divulge it on the podcast so everybody can see it now?
That's it. My pin number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm thinking?
Oh, nice.
I would think my next project, but not the next project, but the one further down.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah.
And the present I'm going to give to my wife for her 50th birthday.
Oh!
I know what it is already.
Oh, that's great.
There you go. Anita, what would you keep hidden?
I don't know. I guess my insecurities,
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
some of my aspirations, and that stash of cash that I'm not supposed to talk about.
Where is it?
Just keep it hidden. That's good.
Lisa, name 3 things that are soft.
A bunny, a kitty that's not drowning.
Poor kitten.
Poor kitten. And slippers.
Okay. All right.
I got the easy ones.
We're going to end off with this question, which is pretty good. What are 3 things you could never say no to?
Oh shit.
I mean, okay, yeah, sex. We got that.
That's the easy one.
That's the easy one. I know.
That would be the easy
That's the
answer.
go-to.
What can I say no to?
Doritos.
You have something? Because I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Go.
Do you need to think about it?
No, I'm good.
Okay, go for it.
I'm good. My no to sweets
Yeah.
because that's a massive sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Movies.
Yeah.
I never say no to going on a movie. And I would think my family.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Good.
That's a good one. Yeah. Anita.
The kids don't watch that because I've said no to you a million times. But in the general scheme of things, it's a no. It's a yes.
Yeah. I'm not stealing from Joe because I also had the idea. But
Gotcha.
I think like my family is
Yeah, for sure.
the first one. And my stupid dog's adorable face when he's like begging for food. Also, that's all encompassed in family.
Family, okay.
The opportunity to do a fun, no sexual innuendo here.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
Just to preface it by saying that.
Yeah, but the opportunity to do like a fun physical activity.
Yeah,
Okay.
gotcha.
Whatever. I went dragon boating this year. I went to substitute for like a dragon boat practice. And so I wasn't even like on the team. They just needed somebody to sit there. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? I've never done this before, but it was so much fun.
Oh, good.
This
Cool.
is the kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, family,
Dragon
physical
boating.
activity, and I'm a chip monster.
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm,
so
I'm
chips.
with you on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's bad.
it's good.
They're horrible. It's so horrible. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's horrible and terrible. It's horrible.
I love
It's
it. It's horrible,
horrible,
but it's
horrible.
so yummy.
I have one question, guys. I gotta ask you after this game. Like, we get back to the serious part. In the movie Epilogue, is there one scene? Like, I don't want you to give it away, obviously, because people will definitely want. But is there one scene that like you kind of both agree is the kicker, the one that says, you know,
yeah.
I'm proud of this,
Yeah.
and that's the scene that sticks. You know, is there one part of the movie that, and without giving too much away, you know,
For me, is it for me or for both of us?
both of you.
We have two different scenes, or it could be the same.
Sure,
scene.
sure. No, I mean,
The scene that I think is the one that should grab people is the scene that I originally wrote first, is when a certain character picks up a box.
okay.
That I started the script with that in mind. Like
Okay.
if that box is discovered, what would happen after that box is discovered?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when I saw it, when we made the box, when we put the sticker on the box, and the box, when you see the box in the film, the way it was placed, I'm like, okay, the film's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it the same one for you, or do you have another?
No, I have a different one. And for me, it's more of like a slow burn, but it's basically the scene where the main character is having the heart-to-heart with her deceased sister. And it's just basically like a slow build to her expressing her discontent. And I find that whole scene is just, the way it like builds up is just, yeah.
Gotcha.
It got me more than I thought it would have gotten me.
I think that scene actually speaks to a lot of people because not saying what the scene's about,
Yeah.
when you see that and let's say you've lived a life with regret and you see that scene, you're like, okay, I understand everything about this movie, and hopefully that, you know, and hopefully people will take stock in their own lives. I'm like, maybe I can do something to, mix up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was very good. Alrighty, well, we're done. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Where do we? Where can
Yes.
people watch it? Because
Exactly.
Naples today.
Yeah.
if I would have known, I would have got my tickets.
Yeah. The film will be available soon to stream online. We haven't set a date yet, but when we do, maybe we can give you guys the date and
Sure.
you know.
And like, is there like, there's going to be a link? Is it going to be?
There will be a link through our Facebook page.
Okay, so and the Facebook page again is what?
It's Little Brown Dog
Little Brown Dog. That's right.
Production.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, we'll post it on Instagram,
Yeah.
which is little
Little
underscore brown underscore dog underscore productions.
Okay.
You guys can get the information eventually, and you guys could when it's time, you guys will have the information to send out.
Cool.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I mean, I'm very inspired by you both. I think.
And likewise.
Yeah, but I mean, for you, I think not only because you've known each other a long time, you understand each other. You are united. You are very dedicated, and you're supportive and encouraging of each other. And I think it's very beautiful to see. And I think it's something that should be appreciated because it's very rare to have this type of friendship, to have this type of teamwork and collaboration. It's not easy to find, and you both really nailed this one. So, and the talent is exorbitant. You guys are very talented, very creative, and I wish you guys the best.
Thank you
so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
So on that note, everybody should be checking out Epilogue when it comes out to stream. We're definitely going to promote it. And Little Brown Dog Productions, everybody should add them onto the Facebook because there's always new and amazing stuff that's coming out. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next Let's Talk It Out.
Ciao.